Hi, and here we are again at CHAIRBOYS Chat, episode 5. We've got 5 things to discuss this time. We've got the Beast and can Wycombe play without Akinfenwa standing on a football pitch? An overview of the Championship, the whole topic of using 5 or 3 subs. Klopp does keep going on about it. Predictions, how we got on last week and how we're going to get on this week, and you can write what you think down, and the Premier League and how they did get on, and we'll sort of bring them into the picture. We're going to try and bring this down to about 30 minutes. I will keep an eye on the time, so off we go then. Akinfenwa. Wycombe drew, by the way, with Derby. We drew. Just a minute, I'm just going to move this because I seem to be not looking in the right direction. Without Akinfenwa on the football pitch, playing Derby in the first half, Wycombe looked shocking. I think that is a fair assessment. In the second half, they brought on Akinfenwa, and even when he had nothing to do with the attack in any form or fashion, Wycombe looked far better. Again, they did pump the ball up the front, but are we better than that? Last year, Kieran, how did we look at playing without him on a football pitch last year?
We didn't, did we, too much? We didn't play without him that much. I mean, we would have had Samuel instead, wouldn't we? And we have tried to play Samuel in the Championship this season. It hasn't worked out too well. Well, that's what we did for the first 4 or 5 games when we didn't win any.
Is that because he just isn't Championship? I mean, I know.
I think, unfortunately, you have to be realistic with this sort of thing, because in League 1 and League 2, you can get away with players who maybe aren't as good. But Championship, you just do need to have a bit more quality, don't you? At least a bit. I'm not saying Samuel isn't good at all, but he's just not Championship, is he? He's not Ivan Toney for Brentford. Of course he's not,
no.
But he's not
a
developed striker.
If we had Ivan Toney from Brentford playing for Wycombe, would that be enough? Or is it we are lacking a team up front?
Our team is built in a specific way. We've played the same way for the last 2-3 years kind of thing. And unfortunately, I think Akinfenwa's age has just caught up on us, which is why Ainsworth tried to buy the bloke in the summer. No, Ainsworth tried to buy the bloke in the summer, who our new striker, and that hasn't worked out so far because of injury. And we haven't had a pre-season. Well, we didn't have pre-season really at all to develop our plan B, I suppose. Our plan, and he's going to have to try and do that during a season in the Championship, which is definitely better,
So
sorry.
So what we're talking about is he needs to bring in other players and try to come up with a plan B. Because let's be honest, Akinfenwa is not. He'd have got his leg completely strapped up, something rotten on Saturday. He is not going to get through these games.
No, it's a. And as much as you don't want to have to, this might be a point where we do just need to replace a few players to keep the system going. Because obviously you're going to have to replace Akinfenwa for next season. He's not going to be about, I don't think. There's a few people in there that just need to improving upon. As much as they're very good players in League 1 and League 2, Championship is just a different book. They always talk about how Championship. Yeah, I was going to say that's a stupid comment, isn't it? The Championship, they always say, is, for one, it's the best Division 2 in the world. They always say, the division below each country's Premier League. It's up there with the German Premier League, Bundesliga, Serie A, the French League. It's probably better than the French League kind of thing. And so us having the players we have in that standard of the league will, if it doesn't catch up on us this season, will catch up on us next season.
It will catch up on us next season.
For
The
certain.
players he's brought in this year have been the players that have stood out, actually. Apart from 3, I would say, there are definitely 3 left in there that are excellent from last year. One is, I keep saying about, is Allsop. I think he has saved us game in, game out. He has looked one of the best. And I'll be honest, it wouldn't shock me for somebody to come in for him for next year from the Championship or up. He has saved Wycombe every game. They always make comments on the TV about, wow, what a save this was. They don't do that for every team, but his is every game. So that surprises me from what I've seen in previous years, but he has stepped up. The next one that I think is what's it up front? Kashket. I think he has been superb, but he has to play off Akinfenwa. When they put the 3 up front, it didn't work. They put him slightly to the side, it didn't work. And I guess, I mean, I was going to say the third player, but
there's a few who you could say have done well, but maybe won't be able to cut it full time in the Championship.
Well, Thompson was the other one I was going to name. Really.
Thompson, he came off injured, didn't he?
He did. He's injured, and I don't know when he'll be back for Stoke.
I think you can say that at times Stewart and Grimmer have been very good as well. Maybe
I was a bit cruel on the back 4.
You were. I did watch it just now, and I thought you were a little bit harsh. But I didn't think they had a great game. They looked lost. And is that also something else that happens without Akinfenwa standing on a football pitch? The leaders.
Yeah. Where are they then? This whole thing of Wycombe have these ideas of generals on the pitch. I didn't see them. I did not see them.
Who is it? It's supposed to be Akinfenwa, Gape, Bloomfield, and I think Jacobson.
Yeah, but of course, and Bloomfield weren't on the football pitch, not Akinfenwa. So we had one Jacobson, and Jacobson worries me a lot. That left-hand side is exposed every game, and every team must look at that. And surprise, surprise, I bet you where Stoke come from is down that side this week. I bet you everybody is coming down that side.
There's a lot of things to do with that player's own experience and their personality. Akinfenwa will be able to cope in the Championship because he has a huge personality, and he has.
Sorry, you're just frozen.
No, he's probably just focusing on himself. Because did I?
Yeah.
I was just saying that Jacobson probably is focusing on himself because he hasn't been in the Championship at all, and he's having to deal with all these different changes and stuff. And so, I think him being a general at the moment is probably a bit difficult for him. Because we don't exactly see that, we don't see his array of personality on the pitch. You can see Akinfenwa's personality on the pitch and stuff. But Jacobson just kind of goes about it in his own sort of way. And so at the moment, maybe leaders at the back is something we're struggling with. We had Charles last season, at centre-back, who led them very well. In the Championship, I don't think he'd be able to cut it, unfortunately.
No.
But there's just an array of factors at the moment that mean it's a little bit more difficult for us. I think a pre-season would have helped massively in this, but
okay, we'll give Wycombe a miss now, and the overview of the championship. Well, I'll see a bit more of it than you do, maybe. I mean, we've obviously got the team we played, Derby, with actually Rooney was a bit of a nuisance because he changed the team, which was a shame. I wish he had kept the same team. We would have stood a bit more of a chance. Instead of which, he brought all his older players on. He changed 8, brought on all the oldies. He went for solid. He went for difficult to break down. He went for the whole idea of we've got quality, even though they're knocking on a bit. And of course, that's what Wycombe do anyway. So that was a bit of a nuisance. Anywhere else around there, I think Middlesbrough really impressed me. But there are a few teams knocking around there that...
Middlesbrough lost this weekend.
Yeah, they did, which was a little bit of a surprise, I must admit. I'm just looking
I have the scores in the table in front of me.
Yeah, well, I was just looking up how these teams have been getting on recently, and Nottingham Forest aren't having a good time either. So that's good. So I'm just going to have a quick look, taking a while. But the form guide for the team, I mean, I just have to say that you've got Norwich, Brentford, Bournemouth and Watford in the top 4, which isn't any great shock, really, is it? I'm talking about the last 6 games, by the way, not in the actual league. And at the bottom there, we've got Derby on the bottom, who picked up 2 points in the last 6 games. And then we got 23rd Reading, but of course in the actual league they're a lot higher. Rotherham are down at the bottom there in 22nd, Millwall, Luton, Preston and Nottingham Forest and Birmingham. And Sheffield Wednesday. So there's a lot of those teams sat there down the bottom. Now the advantage, I think, is we're not playing many or any of them in the next few games. In fact, I don't think we're playing any of them in the next few games. The plus side is we're not going to give them any points when we lose them. None of them are 6-pointers that we can lose. That's the plus side. And the way this table is sort of working out, the more of the top teams these teams play, the better. Because they will drop points. The only snag, of course, is Norwich. Norwich, who were doing very well, have got a bit of a problem. Like Liverpool, they've got an awful big injury list. And that is badly affecting them. Watford, on the other hand, are coming into their own now. Apart from that, I'd say Wycombe are nicely sat in there. For the last 6 games, we're in 11th. We've picked up 9 points in the last 6 games. That will, of course, drop if we go and lose to Stoke. Now, against Stoke, really, the whole idea of draws, well, that one I'd be happy with a draw.
I was going to say they're 8th for the minute, and they've won 6, drawn 4, lost 4. So they're pretty... consistent in their results. I'd give a draw. Draw would be fine for me.
Yeah, I think that's one we go for a draw, which wasn't what I wanted at Derby. So that's the overview, the overall sort of championship. Right, 5 subs. Now we have Mr. Liverpool jumping up and down. We have Mr. Sheffield not very happy with Liverpool. The teams in the Premiership vote on the 5 subs, and it hasn't gone Liverpool's way. In the Championship, of course, they did vote for it. Now, I'm going to give you a plus and a minus for everybody, all right? So I'm going to just throw a bit of into the pot, and then I'll leave it to you to figure out.
This is the biased and unbiased opinion.
Well, first of all, I wonder whether, what's his name, the Sheffield manager?
Chris Wilder.
Wilder. I wonder whether Wilder's just been a pain in the arse, because having 3 subs isn't doing him any favours either.
No, Klopp did point that out as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's not exactly gaining anything from 3 subs. I don't think he'll gain anything if 14 players on the pitch, but we're not all at the same time. But no. I'll leave that to other people's opinions. The other thing, though, so apart from he's not getting anything from not having 5 subs on the pitch, and I think he's being a pain, I think Klopp's argument about players playing too often, and he's going on about that with the TV stuff as well, and yet he is putting the same players on the pitch every time unless they get injured. So if he wants 5 subs so his players can rest and not play the whole games, he's not doing that with 3 subs. So Trent has missed, for instance, I had a look, I think Trent hasn't been on that football pitch for 8 minutes this season.
He's been injured the last 4 games.
Exactly. But he was injured because, on Klopp's point of view, because he couldn't sub him. And yet he played him all of those games for all of those minutes when he didn't have to. So
have you watched Nico Williams? Have you watched Nico Williams?
But the point, but if he's going to sub him, it's going to be Nico Williams. And then at least Trent would be able to play more often instead of being injured. So, listen. So in fact, Klopp is not resting any players, even though he has the opportunity in any games with 3 subs. So why would he do it with 5 subs?
Well, he's not going to just... If he has only 3 subs, he has less chance of subbing Trent.
But he hasn't subbed Trent at all.
Trent has never had an array of injuries in his career, and so he's not assuming that he's going to be one of those in the red.
Klopp can't complain that Trent was injured because he didn't have 5 subs, because he would never sub him anyway.
Well, no, he wouldn't want to. He'd be subbing the players who would probably get injured. For instance,
like
Henderson, Thiago, Mane and Salah have been injured a bit this season.
Right.
Robertson gets injured a bit, which is why we bought Tsimikas. Trent has never Trent, I think, has been injured once in his career before, and that he probably has faith in him to not get injured.
How often has Robertson been subbed this year?
He's had a few. Yeah.
I was gonna have a look to see.
You want to prove me wrong here, don't you?
Well, yeah, because I'm not convinced. I'll look it up, but I'm not convinced he has subbed him until the last 2 minutes of a game.
But there is a thing where, do you like changing your back four during a game?
So but he doesn't even start with a different back four. So it doesn't.
We've had a different back four the whole sodding season.
The only subs that Klopp wants to use, and the reason for using them, is the last 2 minutes to waste time when he's in front, or to change the system. So he does,
which is what you normally do in football. So which is how football should work.
But he's not doing it to rest players, which is his argument. He's doing it for tactical reasons or to waste time at the end of a game.
And 5 subs, 5 subs would allow for him to be able to make subs based on player welfare and injuries. He wants to win the game first and foremost. He's not going to give away the game because someone's going to get injured. You can't have that mindset.
But even with internationals, he doesn't change. So it's not at the forefront of what he does.
It shouldn't be. Hence why 5 subs would make it much easier,
Right. All
in my
right. Well,
opinion.
we'll almost leave it there, except to say that I think the argument for, well, Klopp's got better players to bring on than we have, which is Sheffield United's. I would say, well, it doesn't work like that because they start with better players anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
So I don't think that counts. Actually, I don't think that makes sense to me, because if your Liverpool 11 are worth, say, 100 and Sheffield United's are worth 50, if you take one player off, you're bringing on for Liverpool and he's worth 50, and you take a Sheffield United player on and bring him on worth 25, you're no better off. It doesn't. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
So I don't see that he's in a worse position than Liverpool. In fact, I would say it probably would suit Sheffield United more than Liverpool, because like Wycombe, who have who are allowed to bring on 5 players in the Championship, I would say that's a bonus because we can kill games when we're playing better teams. They've already got their best on, and ours get worn out quicker during a game because the pressure is always on Wycombe as the lower team. Yes, would that be fair enough?
Yeah,
we hardly run the game, do we?
No, not quite.
And Sheffield United aren't running any games. Liverpool are hitting. When Liverpool play Sheffield United, they'll be hitting them. And Sheffield United are taking it at the back, and that's harder work. And the players he's going to bring on would be brought on for the reason of being knackered. The Liverpool players that he would bring on was, we've got to try and get through that, and I don't know how. We'll just bring on any forward we've got and swap them in the hope that. So I think they're probably better off with 5 subs, and I think he's just being a pain in the arse, to be honest, to argue and to take the conversation away from what a dreadful team Sheffield United have been.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
It's a good argument rather than discussing how bad they are. Although they're the same team as last year.
Yeah.
It's strange what goes on in your head.
There's confidence, isn't it, I suppose?
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about on that?
Well, if we're going to talk about something else, it'd be VAR, and I don't want to talk about VAR, do I?
No, we're not talking about VAR. Okay, predictions. How did we get on?
So, we said that you said that Crystal Palace would beat Newcastle, and Newcastle actually won, which is what I said.
Shock.
There was 2 last-minute goals, I think. Yeah, 88th and 90th minute.
Yeah.
Saturday, we said Liverpool would win. Obviously, the referee said no. We said Man City would win, which they did, 5-0 very easily. Go on.
Talk about these teams as we go through them. I mean, up to now hasn't been really. City.
No.
Do you know they've got, even with that 5-0 win, they've got the worst goal tally for 10 years.
Really?
Isn't that
not smashing everyone 5-0 every game, are they?
No, but I think they've done the same against Burnley for 3 games or 4.
4 years straight, they've won by 5-0 at home.
Bad, is it? But the other thing about City, of course, is Aguero. Without him on the pitch, but I reckon he'll be gone very, very shortly anyway, because he'll want a short-term contract at City.
I reckon he might go to...
No, sorry, he'll want a 3-year contract, 4-year contract. But he'll want to finish his time, and I don't think they'll give it to him, City. I think they'll... I don't know.
Guardiola keeps going on about how he needs to prove himself still, and if you're paying Aguero to prove himself, then wow.
Yeah, poor excuse for that. I think Pep needs to prove himself this year. I don't
true.
Going to
very true. Yeah. We said Leeds would beat Everton. So they did 1-0.
Yeah, I don't. Where's Everton gone?
They had their system at the beginning of the season, didn't they? With James and Richarlison and stuff.
Do you know what? I
just
think,
hasn't.
yeah, I think you're right. And I also think that it doesn't take much at Everton to go downhill because they had their 11 players. You take one player out and it seems to be lacking. They can't seem to replace. Was it their fullback missing this year? Sorry,
Yeah,
fullback missing the last game.
Yeah, Dina's out for a while, isn't he?
So I think that's upset the apple cart. Yeah, okay. And the next one?
West Brom beat Sheffield United, and we said it would be a draw.
Well, West Brom are on the run now. Then they're up there.
On the run.
For it. Well, they're out at the bottom three.
Are they?
Yeah.
Heck. Oh wow.
And
that is not something I expected.
No. So as long as the other teams do worse, he's all right.
But Sheffield United missed some absolute sitters in that game as well, though, didn't they?
Something like about 38 shots on goal, wasn't it? Something like that.
Are you sure?
It was.
That seems a bit extravagant.
Yeah, it was. It was something like that. It was masses, and of course they're all just crap. Unless they can't hit the ball in the goal.
They had so Sheffield United had 21 shots, West Brom had 17.
Yeah. So
and yet it was 1-0.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, either great goalkeeping or
I don't think it was.
No, nor do I.
What next? We said Southampton would beat Man United.
Okay. Go on.
Well, they were going to beat Man United.
They were.
They were doing very well, and then they brought Cavani on, didn't they? Because they realised that even though he's old, and they don't want to make him their main man in their system, he's one of their best players, isn't he?
So what do they do now? Is this we've got it together and this is it? This is the beginning of it? Is this another one of them? Do you know, here's a couple of little facts on them. They've won their last away 8 games.
Yeah, I saw that as well. How have they done that then?
Well, they're not doing very well at home, are they?
No, they're awful at home. They've lost 3, I think, at home this season already. United is just an odd team, aren't they?
Goalkeeper.
But De Gea got injured, didn't he? Yeah.
He did. I wonder if that was a bonus.
It gives Henderson a run of games, doesn't it? For him to prove himself. But he's buzzing about that, to be honest.
Yeah. And the other interesting fact about that, Martial hasn't had a shot on goal this season.
No, there's been lots and lots of memes about that on Twitter, about things that have been more than Martial shots on target this season.
Oh, is that a joke on? Right.
Oh, it's a big joke. Don't worry.
So this guy comes on for a few minutes and knocked into, and helped with the other one.
Yeah, it's like Cavani has scored more goals in a third of the time than Martial has had shots on target.
Right, yeah. And in fact, they won without a penalty. There's
a change. Yeah.
Just to say, in the middle of all this, we'll go on to the next game today. I've just got to mention that I'm not going to mention that Peterborough were knocked out of the cup by Chorley. I just don't want to say that, all right?
You don't want to.
The nasty comments in Peterborough's newspaper about Wycombe Wanderers. I do not want to. I'll just make this clear. I'm not going to discuss Peterborough being knocked out of the FA Cup in the second round by a team called Chorley. Okay, sorry.
I think it's a bit disrespectful to Chorley, to be honest. They're a well-known team. Right. Chelsea Spurs was 0-0, and we said Spurs would win. I think it's a classic Mourinho, isn't it? He knew. Didn't he say afterwards? He was like, "Oh, the boys are really unhappy with the result." It's just like, No, they're not. That probably is exactly what you went for, Jose. You went for a 0-0.
Right. Are we going? Is there any more games? The Arsenal.
Yes. We said Wolves would beat Arsenal, and of course they did.
And of course they did. Where is this guy? The super manager. What has happened? From Manchester City, they both seem to be going downhill. Even though City won 5-0. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Against Burnley at home. They apparently Arteta and Guardiola are good together.
Biased, is it?
No, not at all, mate.
No. Okay, very quickly then. Predictions: win, draw, or lose. Go
right.
for it.
Aston Villa versus Newcastle. Newcastle. Go with that.
Aston Villa. You've got to write these down, Kieran.
Yep.
I'm going to say Aston Villa win.
Burnley, Everton. Draw, maybe.
Yeah, that one won't be first on match of the day, will it?
No, I highly doubt it.
No.
Oh gosh, Man City at home to Fulham. Maybe 10-0, something like that. Maybe just a few.
You never know. Jesus might actually score a goal in this one.
Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus.
He'll get a hat trick and be, best player in the league. But
that's good luck, Fulham.
West Ham at home to Man United. You'll like that one, won't you?
Come on, West Ham.
United will go away.
Yeah, I know. They've won the last 8 away. Oh, what a nasty game that one is. You know Man United are going to win with a penalty, don't you?
No doubt.
Last minute for handball that never was. You know that, don't you?
I'm going to go United. I don't want to say it.
So am I. So am I. It hurts, doesn't it? It wrenches, yeah.
You don't want to say it.
No, you don't.
Chelsea versus Leeds.
True. That's Leeds. I'm going to go for Leeds. I reckon
Leeds are so good to watch. They're lovely to watch, aren't they?
They are.
I'll go Leeds. Yeah.
I hope it's Leeds. I really like Leeds.
Yeah, we'll go Leeds. West Brom. Sorry.
We've agreed with all these, except for the first one.
All right, we'll change it up for this time. West Brom, Crystal Palace. I'm going to say West Brom.
Are you?
Yeah, I imagine you're going to go the same.
I will, because I'll tell you why. Because isn't Zaha out at the moment?
Yes. Oh, is he back? He might be back.
Because that's what
COVID.
Makes the difference. That's what makes the difference. Without him, they've had it, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, COVID, didn't he? So he might be back for this one. Can't quite remember.
If he's playing, I'd say Crystal Palace, and if he's not, I'd say West Brom. I think they'll be going for it now. They've had their win. That's the start of their season.
West Brom will get a crummy win, won't they? Yeah. Sheffield United versus Leicester. For some reason, I just think a draw.
Really? Mine's Leicester. Every day of the week.
I think Sheffield United just have to get a point at some point, don't they? Surely.
But they've got one.
They have one. They're on the road to get like 5 points the whole season.
Who did they draw against? Can you remember?
Shall I have a look?
Such a long time ago now. No, don't worry. We'll discuss it next week. We've got to get on. We've done our time, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Do you your own kids, mate? They always get annoyed with me. Go on.
I'm getting with you. Tottenham versus Arsenal.
I'm sorry, Arsenal. Tottenham every day of the week, I would have said.
You would have thought. Yeah, Tottenham are at home as well.
Yeah.
It's got to be Tottenham, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really.
Liverpool Wolves.
Oh dear, oh dear.
We're playing Ajax in midweek as well. It's
I know,
tomorrow, actually.
yeah.
Oh, I don't.
They only need a draw tomorrow, though, Kieran.
Do we? Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, the draw.
Mm,
Oh,
I'm gonna.
well,
Mm,
I
I reckon
don't
we'll get
know.
like a. I reckon we might get a 2-1.
Sorry, I'm going Wolves. No, Liverpool
Why?
at home, aren't they?
Liverpool at home.
All right, Liverpool win then.
You can go for a draw as well.
No,
Remember.
Liverpool win. Are we there then?
No. Lastly, Brighton, Southampton.
Oh, well, that's Southampton. Isn't
Southampton, innit? Yeah, makes much more sense.
it? Okay, that'll do.
Ward-Prowse.
Anybody
Yeah.
has any comments, if they want to write down win, lose, draw with any of those predictions, any comments other than Peterborough fans? I don't want any of your comments.
I don't think they'll be watching, mate. Don't worry.
I don't think they'll be watching. If you'd like to put your comments in, that's great. Thank you, and we'll see you next Monday evening.
Will do.
Right. Oh, and don't forget the Stoke prediction coming up as well. It's probably tomorrow. Okay, then. No, the game's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh dear, I'm gonna have to do that in a minute. Okay, then. Right, I'll see you in a minute.
See you in a bit.
Bye.